I can't hear you.
What's good, guys? Your boy. Okay, there we go. Yeah, what's good, guys? Your boy, Mr. Old Skool Ryder. Come back at you one more again. I have a very special guest. I have World Traveler. She's a bikini lingerie model. Also, she a yoga instructor. She was recently on a spread of Hustler magazine in the March edition. I have Miss Chantel on the line. What's going on, Chantel?
Hello, hello.
Chantel, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
Tell us about yourself, Chantel, for a little bit.
What do you guys want to know? I'm a natural born Floridian, professional dater, wannabe model, yoga instructor. I do lots of things.
Okay, I first discovered you like a few years back on a podcast with your partner in crime, Vivian. That's how I found you
Yes.
guys a few years ago.
Yes, that was my first show. I put a lot of work into that show, man. Podcasting is hard. Everybody thinks you just, plug in a mic and just start talking. And I'm like, oh my God, no. It's like it's so intense and so much work. So that was a project that just like came from my heart. I wanted to help the community of sex workers. Lots of new girls would come into the business and they would have so many questions, and it's really time consuming trying to help a new person. So we got together and we are like, let's do a show to help all the new people so that we're not, I mean, not just Vivian and I, but lots of girls get plenty of emails asking, to be helped. So that's how the show came about. And I did it for what, almost 2 years before I had to depart. It got to be a lot. But I love it. I miss podcasting.
Oh yeah, I understand. Sometimes it does take a lot of work to in this podcast and stuff. Sometimes you're gonna have technical issues, which I just had now. And sometimes your guests might flake on you, or some people might be nervous. It's just a lot of things that goes into podcasting to make it
Oh my
right.
God, so much. So I'm starting a new show, and I had technical issues last night, and then I was supposed to do an interview this morning, and storm knocked out power, so my guest couldn't get on this morning. So it's a lot to juggle, and shout out to anybody who has the drive to start one, because it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
Oh yeah, that is correct. I'm on my second season right now. Actually, my
Oh,
second season, I'm doing.
congratulations.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, this actually my. I haven't did like an online podcast like in a while. I've been doing like live shows. Like I have like people I interview in front of me nowadays.
I was going to try to get to Atlanta, but my schedule has just been so packed that getting to Atlanta right now is just a little bit impossible. So I apologize. Because live shows are
Oh, don't even
always
worry
better
about
when
it.
you're in the same room. I know.
Oh yeah, I got it all elegant. I got it set up pretty nice at my little low downtown Atlanta, of course. But Yeah, we'll get you up here one day. I think in sometime next month, I'm actually gonna be in Florida allegedly be doing one of my shows. Actually, I
Allegedly.
got to get that set up. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Where
still
are you
trying to
going in
scout the
Florida?
locations. I'm thinking Miami. I'm thinking I got like three people to say, "Come on down."
Okay, okay. Yeah, Miami is a wild town.
Yeah, I've been trying to avoid it for the longest, but I'm had to like I try to avoid Atlanta. I've been avoiding Miami for the longest.
Listen, I'm from Florida and I usually avoid Miami.
Oh Lord, you say it's that wild, right? Right?
It is wild, and I go to Miami and it's like I can't relax. It's kinda like Vegas. You don't go to Miami to relax, you go to, like, party. There's just, like, so much night scene down there, and it's impossible to just, like, take time out and relax.
Yeah, you're right about that. Every time I go to Vegas, you just not gonna sit there and just chill. You got to go outside.
Oh, I can only do, like, 2 days in Vegas, like, I can't like, I went to Vegas I don't even remember the last time I went to Vegas, but it's been enough for, like, 10 years. I have to go somewhere else. Vegas is just too wild for me, and I'm wild, like, I'm wild, and Vegas is wild for me, so
Oh Lord, you're not that wild, are you?
yeah, I'm pretty out there. Like,
Yeah, I know you
last
kind
time
of venturous.
I love adventure. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so the last time I went to Vegas maybe not the last time, but one of the last times I went to Vegas, I jumped off of, um, what is that thing called? The Stratosphere. I jumped off of the Stratosphere in Vegas because somebody dared me to, and I was like, "Don't dare me to do crazy things, because 'cause I'll definitely do it."
Oh, that's actually a real deal. Jumping off the stratosphere, right?
Yeah, that it's crazy going up in the elevator and it has to, like, stop and reset itself, like, halfway through because it's so high. I think it's, like I don't remember the exact number, like 108 stories high or something like that, and, of course, you come out the elevator, you're wearing, like, a jumpsuit, and everybody in there, they go up to the top just to like do the observation deck. And so you almost look like a prisoner walking to the plank because then everybody's staring at you and like, oh my God. Like I literally heard people say, oh my God, she's crazy. And I just looked at them. I was like, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, wait, that is high. My goodness, that's all the way down on the strip, right? Is that developed all the way now? That side of the strip?
Dude, I have no idea. I think the last time I was in Vegas was like 2019. I think, was the last time. I know it was before the pandemic, so I haven't been in a while to know what's going on there.
Yeah, I always wonder about that. Ooh, I ain't went like in a long time. I think the last time I was there, Riviera, the hotel was still around. It's been that long.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Do you know what Circus is located on the strip?
No.
For real?
I feel I no, I
I
feel like
forgot. I forgot. That's not your speed.
I feel like every time I go to Vegas, it's just like a blur. Like a lot of stuff happens and then I have to go look at pictures to remember like what the hell did I do? Like it's just like you get out of the airport and it's just like boom 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 and you're just like on the go the entire time nonstop.
Yeah, it be like that sometimes. You know, when you get to Vegas, it's just fast paced.
Yeah, so Vegas is not my favorite city though. Not at all.
Hey, it is what it is. Yeah, that's the one place I was supposed to go out there as well. I got to interview some folks. I got to figure out how I'm gonna get all these destinations out the way this year. But yeah, some people want me to come through Vegas as well. But hey, we're gonna
You
see.
just got to pack up the equipment and go. Like you just got to do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna hire some photographers and the audio man like I be doing my live show when I do it in Atlanta, of course. Yeah, I'm not taking
Mhm.
nothing but myself and my computer.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I did on TSEG. I was traveling a lot during that the making of that show, and I had to pack all of my equipment. I mean, I was in Australia and Hong Kong doing interviews. And it was like, talk about the time difference. I remember doing one interview, like I went out to dinner and I was just enjoying the city, and I had to get back to do an interview at like 1 a.m. I think at Hong Kong time, because we were interviewing somebody in the state. Well, Vivian was in the state still, and we were interviewing somebody in the state. So yeah, it's you got to do what you got to do to keep the show going. It's dedication. Like I tell people, you have to be passionate about podcasting, because if you're not, it will eat you alive easily.
Oh wow, y'all international with the podcast back then. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean that's why I miss it so much, because I've met so many people just doing that show, like just, interviewing people or just connecting. 'Cause I was actually in Australia. I had no plans on going to Hong Kong, and there are two Australian ladies that listened to the podcast and reached out to me when they found out I was in Australia, and they're like, "Well, we're in Hong Kong," and I was like, "Oh, well, I can take a pit stop in Hong Kong," and that's how I ended up in Hong Kong. And it was just like really cool. Just now I have like friends all over the world, just because of podcasting. So that's why I'm like jumping back into it, because I just miss meeting people, hearing people's stories, and just learning about people. I love learning about people, especially people that aren't right here in my same city. I like to meet people from different cultures and backgrounds. Like it's one of my favorite things.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right about the podcast again. You'll be able to meet like different people from different backgrounds, so you guys
Yeah.
kind of connect.
Hmm.
That's a good actually. Tell us a little bit more. Tell us about your podcast that you're coming out with right now. Tell us a little bit about it, if
So
you can.
it actually airs Tuesday, March 1st. So of course, I'm scrambling to make sure everything is done and is perfect come Tuesday. But it's called Hoe Ventures, and I'm just going to interview different people in the professional dating world to hear their fun, memorable dating experiences, and just anything that being in this lifestyle afforded them the opportunity. Because I know there's a lot of things that I've done because I'm in this industry that I don't think that I would have done if I was still an accountant doing my 9 to 5 job. I just don't think it would have been possible. So I'm very grateful for all of the opportunities that this lifestyle has afforded me, and not just like money, because money comes and goes, but just the time that I have, like I have more free time to spend with my family, and like and to pursue my own dreams and passions. Like that's just a really big part about this lifestyle. So I know what it did for me, and I want to hear what it has done for others. So that's why I started the show, and because I miss podcasting. Like a
Oh
crazy
yeah,
person I am.
yeah, you are crazy. Yeah, I can tell you actually. Excuse me. I can actually tell you missed the game. You was recently on a podcast with Vivian. I'm like, okay, they came back together. That
Yeah,
brought
I
back a
was
lot of
she
memories for
asked
certain folks.
it brought back memories for me as well. Like, man, um it was good. Yeah, she reached out and asked if I wanted to be on a recent episode, and I was like, absolutely. So hopefully she'll be a guest on my show as well.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear some of her stories through her pictures and stuff. That's gonna be interesting.
She has some wild stories. I mean, we have wild stories together. So, and I have a lot of wild stories with lots of ladies that I've met over the years. So I'm interested in hearing everybody's adventures. Like it's just, we get vanilla people, and that's what we call people not in the industry. When people find out that we're in the sex workers, they want to know everything about our business and our life. And a lot of people get hooked on like the salacious, sexy details, but that gets boring. I mean, like how many sex stories can one person tell? Like I've had way more adventures that did not involve sex that are way more entertaining. So that's what I want to hear. Those are the stories I enjoy hearing.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. It's just the regular stuff like behind the scenes or whatnot. That's what some people want to hear about sometimes.
Oh
I mean, the
yeah,
sex stories are
absolutely.
cool. I mean, the sex stuff is like cool sometimes, but it get kind of boring hearing about it. It's the other stuff that people are interested in listening to.
It's like a great thing if somebody can like, rock your world sexually, but like I mean, I don't know about other people hearing them because maybe because I'm in the industry, I'm just kind of overhearing them, but I'm tired of hearing them, I'm tired of telling them. And I mean, after a while, it's like how many different positions can you talk about? you know, the Kama Sutra has been a thing for so long, like, and especially when people hear that I'm a yogi, they for some reason, I mean, yes, I'm very flexible and very bendy. That's great. But people are like, "Oh my god, can you do this? And can you do this?" And I'm like, and people, I've had people ask me if I do like do sexual things in like very dangerous yoga poses. I was like, "Get out of my face." Like I take my yoga very serious. So like no, I'm not trying to get somebody to do sexy things to me while I'm in a headstand. Like I could literally snap my neck. I'm balancing on my head and you want to know if I do sexy. I'm like, "Guys, stop. It's too much and it's boring. Like it's not that exciting." I'm sure there's some porn out there though that somebody has done these things, but real life I'm not doing them. So I want to hear about all the other adventures that are fun.
So, are you interviewing just the ladies in the lifestyle, or are you gonna be interviewing some of the guys in the lifestyle as well?
Well, people, because there are
Oh,
many
people.
different
Okay.
yeah, well, because there's lots of there's male providers and the spectrum of binary, non-binary. Like there's all sorts of people in the industry. So I just want to hear stories from whoever's in the industry. I'm sure I can get I mean, getting clients to interview is a little bit more difficult because a lot of them are very, very private, but I'm definitely open to interviewing clients about what was their most memorable date that they, took a professional dater on, cuz I would love to hear their side of the story. What was special for them? Did they plan the date or did they have their companion plan the date, There's so many different stories out there. I want to hear them all.
Oh yeah, we can't wait to hear these stories. It's gonna be very interesting.
I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah, I know. During 2020, between the last couple, you kind of disappeared for a couple seconds. Were you on a hiatus or were you just chilling somewhere?
Wait, when was this?
I think during the pandemic situation, I know you did you like take a break or something?
No, I've been out here in these streets. No, it's probably just busy. I know myself and a lot of other people, the pandemic actually like increased our business. Like I was busy. I was being flown out, okay? I was hiking on hiking dates. I mean, people realized they were lonely. And so yeah, I was booked and busy. So I've been around. I'm not good with social media. Like I am the worst. Like I should probably hire a social media manager But in that aspect, I should probably just hire somebody to like document my life, because I am the worst at like taking photos, and I don't really take selfies very much. Like, I'm trying to get better at it. It's just like not my thing, you know? So my friends yell at me all the time. You need to post more. You need to post more. So you probably thought I disappeared because I wasn't posting, but I was still available.
You was on a low, but you was available, but you was off of social media. You was pretty much off the grid.
Yeah, I was on the low. I mean, I was busy. I was only seeing like one person a week, um, most of 2020, and I was moving, I was renovating my condo. Like, so I just had like a lot going on. So I was just like real low key, but I mean, I wasn't like unavailable. I just wasn't really that active on social media. But I'm back.
Yeah, we noticed lately you've been flooding the timeline recently. I'm like, dang, she putting stuff on there now.
I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard.
You gonna be all right.
Hopefully. Don't judge me, people.
We're gonna judge her, guys.
Evil. You were evil.
I be like that sometimes, but what's the most adventurous thing you ever done in your life? I know you say you jumped off the stratosphere, your hike. What was the thing that you liked the most doing your adventures?
Like the most adventurous thing I've done, like in this business, or like just in general.
In general, it could be vanilla or in the industry or whatever.
Oh man, so much has happened in my life. Um I will preface this with reminding everybody that again, I'm a little bit crazy in a good way, like in a good fun adventurous way, not like a psycho killer kind of way, but in a fun adventurous way. So I definitely do not recommend people do things that I've done cuz I'm crazy. Um but I mean, I don't know anyone in particular, but I tend to like people tell me, "Oh, you should go a place," and I'll just go, like no planning. I'll just go. I used to I used to meet I used to meet wealthy guys a lot just randomly out in places, and the next thing I know, I'm like on their boats partying. And by partying, I mean like I'm, drinking alcohol and dancing and having a good time, not doing drugs. But I I don't know how do you end up on somebody's boat and like spending the night on somebody's yacht? I don't know. I think it's because I live in Florida though that those things just can happen. Like you're like me and a friend we're at the beach and the next thing you know we're on somebody's boat and we're traveling and we're like how are we like almost to the Bahamas? Like this is crazy. But yeah, those are things that I've done and probably would do again if somebody invited me on their yacht. I'm trying to slow down my craziness now because like I have nieces and nephews and I want to be around for them and stuff like that. So I'm trying to like slow down the craziness just a little bit, but I will still, book a flight, if I wasn't going to Disney World tomorrow, I'd be booking a flight and ending up in some random country with no problems. I love adventure and just wherever the wind blows me, I will happily go.
Oh, you said Disney World? Really?
Yeah, I'm going to Disney World
Wow.
tomorrow. I mean, I live in Florida. It's like not that special.
I mean, I haven't been there yet myself. I had some Disney. I had some ears, but I never been there before. Even though I'm very close to Florida, but I never went down there yet.
I mean, I live like very close to Disney, in Orlando, and I haven't been like in a really long time, but somebody begged me to go tomorrow, so I'm going to go
You gotta do it for the kids.
and,
It's all good.
and
You'll
have a
enjoy
great
it.
time. Oh no, there are no kids involved in this day.
Wow.
Just adulted. Listen, adulting at Disney actually is like a fun thing because they have like wine tastings, and I love my wine. I love wine. So I'm not a
Well,
wino, but I do have a great appreciation for wine.
yeah, I also know that you drink a particular drink. Tell us what is that you drink. I bought a couple of those recently when I went to Virginia. What is
Which
tell
the
everybody
wine that
what you
I
just sipping on? What are you sipping on?
Oh, my water. Is this what you're talking about?
The Liquid Death, yes. Mine's is a
Oh
white
yeah.
can with the gold letters on it.
Yeah, so the like I should be sponsored by Liquid Death. Like they're not sponsoring me. I'm just a fan. So, I mean, you would think that, you would want somebody who's a natural fan to sponsor them, right? But yeah, this one, the black can is sparkling water. I have an obsession with sparkling water. Like I don't know why. I have no idea, but I am obsessed with sparkling water. The can, it's sustainable for the environment. We care about the environment. And they just have really cool branding. And I gravitated because I listen to death metal a lot, actually, only mostly. So when I saw this, I was like, sparkling water, and they have regular water. They just came out with flavors as well, but I can't seem to find them in the store. So I have to order them online. But I mean, they just have really cool marketing and they're trying to help the planet. So these are like all things that I'm about. So I support companies like this because, they support the planet. So cheers to Liquid Death out there in these streets.
Yeah, I did not know they had sparkling water. I'm gonna have to look for that. I guess I'm gonna
The
have to order
black
it, but
the
the
black
black is
can is
sparkling.
sparkling. Yes, the white is just regular flat and the black is sparkling.
Yeah, I have like a couple cans left. When I came back from Virginia, like 3 weeks ago, actually, I took one to work. I work overnight. Y'all were drinking a can, like, hey man, what you doing? I'm like, no, don't worry about it. I'm straight.
Oh my
I'm like, hey, it's
god,
one.
I cannot tell you how many times like I go into like morning yoga and I'm like chugging water, right? Because I do hot yoga. So I'm like chugging water, got to stay hydrated. And everybody's looking at me like, wow, she's really like dedicated to beer so much that she's like drinking. And I'm talking about like 8 a.m. classes. And they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what are you drinking? I'm like, oh, water. And they're like, just water? Like, is there like energy? Or I'm like, no, it's just water. And, they always like, but is there? And I'm like, there's nothing in it. It's just water. And then they give me and I'm like, it's just water. Like, literally, it's water. That's it. Like, just water. But they literally thought that I was drinking alcohol before a hot yoga class. I was like, do y'all really think that I'm about to go into chin stand half baked or drunk? I should say. I think baking is like weed, right? Is that smoking weed? Is that what baked is? I don't know. Whatever. But I'm not going into chin stand drunk, people. Not happening.
Ah, y'all hilarious. God, all
Yeah.
right, so I'm asking some other questions here. What's the misconception about the type of work that you do?
Um, Everybody seriously thinks that all we do all day is sit in a bedroom and have sex. And I'm like, it's like maybe 10% of what we do. Like, it's really not that much. I mean, just think about like a 4-hour date. Who's fucking for 4 hours, Nobody. I think that's the biggest misconception about this job. It's Our job is more of a mental thing than it is physical. And that's one of the reasons I'm starting this new show is because I want people to understand that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, especially with the way with the internet presence now. It's not like it was back in the 80s and 90s where you could just have an ad in the phone book or in the newspaper and you just, get phone calls and show up. Like we don't have that anymore. Now we have to stay. I mean, for example, you just said you thought I disappeared because I wasn't like online constantly. That's what happens now in this industry. So the majority of our job is being online and interacting with people before they even meet us. Like, I mean, I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for me and most of the people that are in my inner circle. Most of what we do is, get people to fall for us before they even meet us. So before I even meet somebody new, they've seen my Twitter, they've seen my Instagram, they've gone back and listened to episodes of TSEG that I was on. Um, I'm sure somebody will end up finding this interview and will listen to this. I've done a few other interviews that weren't like, sex worker industry related podcasts, and they've heard those. And, so they've connected so much with my personality before they've even met me. And I tell people, like, that's like 80 to 90% of what we do behind the scenes before somebody even meets us. So how can you just narrow us down to what's between our legs, and that's what we do. Like, I mean, it's frustrating, but I think it's just, it just comes with, how the media portrays our industry. It's either, you're doing favors for $50 behind a dumpster, or you're getting $10,000 a day being flown around on private jets. And I'm like, there are two very extremes. Do both of those things happen? Absolutely. But I'm just like an average middle end professional dater, companion, escort, whatever label anybody wants to give me. I don't really care. Just make sure you just know that I'm paid. That's all that matters.
Oh yeah, you guys are well paid. It's levels to this stuff, you know.
It is levels. It is levels. I mean, and then you have this, unfortunately, there's always this battle of the high end versus the low end, and I'm like, I just want to get paid. Like, I don't care about all of that. My rates reflect what's going on in my life. Um so, right now they're a certain price. Maybe one day, if I'm available and my schedule opens up and I want to get more business, I'll lower my rates. There's nothing wrong with that. If I get too busy and I want to slow down a bit, I'll raise my rates. I mean, it's just all a matter of like, what do you want to do that's gonna keep you fed, that's gonna you're not homeless. That's what all that matters is, what are you doing for you? And a lot of people get into this business and they forget that. They see all the glitz and glam on social media and they're trying to strive to get there. And it's like, if you can get there easily, that's great, but don't go broke trying to, show off some image because you think that's what's going to get you booked. It's just, it's, I know, I mean, and a lot of clients, they book, a lot of girls don't realize this. They will book a $5,000 a day girl, and then they will turn around and book somebody that's like 100 or 200 an hour. Like, clients will book all of us. None of us are, more special than the other. So focus on yourself and do what is best for you and your bank account. That's what I tell people. That's the rules I live by. I stay true to myself. I don't really care what anybody else thinks of me.
Such thing as pricing yourself out.
Oh God, yeah, there's such thing as pricing yourself out, because I mean, people have to realize different markets are different things. Like, somewhere in the middle of podunk America, are you going to make any money charging $1,500 an hour when, the average household income is like $60,000 a year? No, you're not going to, you're going to be broke. You're going to be starving. And you might be they might be seeing somebody on Twitter, from New York or somewhere fancy, that has a much higher cost of living, where the average income is 150,000 a year, whatever these average incomes are. You can't compare yourself with people who are, living in areas where people have like so much, extra income to just like throw around. You just can't do that. So I tell people, don't price yourself out of the market. Just, who cares? I had somebody try to rate shame me one time, and I looked and I was like, I mean, nice try. I don't care. Like, I don't care what you think, because I am not struggling to pay my bills. My bills are paid, so I don't care what you think of my rates.
That's the first time I heard that ever. Rate shame. I know it's a such thing, but wow, that's the first time I actually heard that somebody said that.
I've never really heard anybody say it. I know that the first time I heard it was when I said it, because I was like, "Wait a minute. Did this bitch just rate shame me?" Like, on Twitter, she tried to have some Twitter beef with me. And then she tried to rate shame me, and I'm just like, "I don't care." Like, at the end of the day, I know how much money's in my bank account, and I know the lifestyle that I'm living comfortably. That's all I care about. Like, I don't want to be struggling, like, who wants to walk around, driving a fancy car and wearing designer bags, but you can't even pay your light bill. Like, who wants to be like that? I don't want to be. I mean, there are some people out there like that, and bless their heart. I hope one day, they figure out, how to move on from that mentality so that they can thrive, because anything can happen to anybody, not even just in this industry, but anytime that you use your body for income, that whether that's an accounting job like I used to do, or in this industry, it doesn't matter. Like, you need some financial safety net. You can't just be like out here caring about what other people think. And then if something happens to you and you have to be out of work for 6 weeks, where are you going to get money then? Then you're on Twitter begging for GoFundMe's and stuff like that. So why do that? I don't want to be on Twitter begging people to donate so that I can pay for, uh, you know, get my light bills paid, because just last month I was trying to put on a front and rate shame other girls and be like, oh, my rate's higher than yours. I could care less. I really don't care about the opinions of very many people, just my mom. And if you don't pay my bills, I honestly, truly, like, deep down in the bottom of my dark soul, do not give a fuck what you think about me.
Oh wow, that's cool right there. I was wondering about that. I mean, of course, we're on Twitter. It's quite a few things that get posted. One of the things I see on there as well, like you said, people be on there like asking for money to pay certain things. I was
Mhm.
thinking some people just be capping sometimes, and other times I be thinking, I'm like, they might actually need this for real. I'm like, what the heck happened?
I mean, so I'm sure, and I'm not saying that I know anybody specifically, but just in the world in general, of course there are going to be scammers out there, right? You have people who are constantly posting, that they need funds and all of this stuff, and that's their whole business model. And whatever works for them, that's fine. It's not my business. I'm not judging them, but it's a thing. And then you do have people who actually do need help, and that's okay too. But the people that I have a problem with are the ones that are shaming other people for what they're doing, and then behind the scenes they can't even pay their light bills. Those are the people I have a problem with. Like, if you really need help, I'm here to help as much as I can, but don't try to shame me and then a month later you need my help, like, cuz then I'm going to be like, "Oh my god, go kick rocks." With a smile, of course.
Oh yeah, you're hilarious.
Always got to
So you
smile.
said, Oh yeah. Also, you were saying something about the only person you worry about is your mom, correct?
Yeah, she's the only person that has an opinion that I care about.
So she pretty much already know what you're doing, then, right?
Oh, yeah, she 100% knows. Yep. She knows that I'm doing this interview right now.
How did the conversation go when you first got in the game? When your mom found out about it?
So, I kinda, like, eased her into it because I I started sugar dating way back when I was, like, 18, before, like, all the sugar sites came about. I just happened to, old men are attracted to me, or I should say older men are attracted to me. So, I had, like, my first couple of sugar daddies just, like, being customers, like, in a store that I worked at or when I worked at the bank. Um, I just naturally attracted these people. So she already knew that I, had a tendency of dating much older men. Um, so I did that for a while I was in college and working as an accountant and stuff like that. And then one day, which probably is one of the craziest things that I ever did, was I quit my accounting job. I just one day I was like, I can't take this anymore. You guys are literally driving me crazy. And so I'm done. So I just walked out and I didn't know what I was going to do. So um that's how Chantel was born. A week later I came up with the name and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna go be a sex worker. I thought I was gonna be a stripper. I do not know how these ladies do it. Y'all have like patience that I wish that one day I could have. I do not have the patience. I love going to strip clubs, especially with clients. It's so much fun. I love giving money to the strippers. I cannot be a stripper myself. Um, so I didn't do stripper, but I started out, I did webcam, I did phone sex. I did lots of things and then I did Chantel. And so I slowly introduced my mom. I didn't really tell her. I told my brother first because I was actually going to Australia. So I was like, "Well, I have a history of um weird things happening to me when I travel internationally by myself." So I didn't want something to happen and then my family found out like on the news that I was a sex worker. So I told my brother before I left, and then when I got back, my mom actually was going with me to swap meetings, and which is a sex worker outreach project. And she went with me to a swap meeting, and we were talking about being involved in the community. And she just, basically asked me like, "Oh, well, which one are you?" And that's kind of how the conversation happened. So of course, it went with this whole, she was worried about me, worried about my safety. So when I explained to her my process and everything that I do, she was she a little bit more relaxed about it. But I mean, she still, I talk to her every day. I let her know when I'm working. And I mean, it's honestly just a job to my family. Like that's how we treat it. It's just a job. And, she'll, if she calls me and I'm working, I'll just send her a text, "Hey, I'm working, I'm safe." I'll check in, when I leave. And, it's pretty normal. Like as normal as this job can be. Like my family, I'm so lucky and blessed that I have a family that's so supportive and so understanding because it's it's just a job, you know?
Wow, that's a hell of a story right there. Okay, you pretty much you didn't jump in the game with both feet. You just kind of stepped into it just a little bit at a time.
I feel like like how people feel like they just have a calling in life. I feel like my life just kind of led me to this because uh, I don't know, man. I look back to, like, even just, like, my younger years and, I mean, unfortunately, there are a lot of creeps out there, and I started developing at a very young age. I was, wearing regular bras really young. I was a full D cup by, like, ninth grade in high school. So I was a very developed young woman, And and so I was very like hypersexualized at a very young age. And I realized at some point that men were just going to sexualize me whether I liked it or not. So I might as well get paid for it. And that's how I ended up here. So like I just kind of slowly got pushed toward that way. It's been a wild ride though.
So Chantel, we're pretty much like halfway through this right now.
Mhm.
So, what is one of your favorite features that you like about yourself, or maybe other people might like about you?
I don't really know what other people like about me. I should take a poll and ask whoever's listening, tell me what you like about me. What I like about myself, um, oh, that's a very hard question because I've been through so much in life. I think that I'm just a fighter. I think that's what I like about myself. Um, I've been through some shit, but I overcome it. It might take some time, but I eventually overcome it. Um, I'm a fighter. And if you're going to try to take me out, I am going to go down fighting. I can tell you that. It's not going to be easy.
So that means you know how to fight a little bit. Then I know you. I can see you taking some type of karate or something like that since you do yoga.
No, I'm actually, as TikTok would say, I'm a very peaceful person. I actually don't care for violence, which is weird because I love professional wrestling, but that's entertainment. I don't like the UFC and boxing. I actually do not like those sports. They are so violent. Like I don't like violence. Um, but I'm a fighter and I will fight for, the underdog, the underprivileged. I was underprivileged, I grew up poor. Um, and I do not like to see people being taken advantage of, any sort of like misjustice. And I fight for people and I've been in trouble. Most of the things that I've been in trouble in my life was always taking up for somebody else. And it always bites me in the ass every fucking time. And I'm like, will you ever learn your lesson to like mind your own business? But it's just so hard for me to just see somebody struggling and not help them. Like it's so hard.
Yeah, that is very understandable. When you see somebody out there struggling, you want to help. Sometimes you end
Hmm.
up kind of hurting yourself a little bit, but at the end of the day, you pretty much did it for the greater good.
I think I'm like one of those people that um I would have literal anxiety if I saw a situation where I might be able to help somebody and I chose to walk away. It would haunt me for probably my entire life because I know now that I can think of a couple instances in my past where I was like, "Oh, I'm not getting involved in that," and it still haunts me to that day, till today. Because I think like, what if I could have done something to help somebody, you know? But I try not to
Mm.
think about it because it'll drive me crazy.
No, it's all good. So we got some other questions here. So how you go about marketing yourself during the social media era? What's the things that you normally use for yourself to market yourself?
My biggest platform is Twitter. Because I'm more of a words person than photos, so it's easier for me to interact with people on Twitter. Instagram is so, it's all photos, and I'm like, oh, I have to take a photo. I have to get dressed and like get out of my yoga pants. I love my yoga pants. I'm like, I have to get dressed and like, make sure my hair looks good and take a photo and then post it. So I'm much more of a Twitter person and I love doing podcasts. That's hopefully going to be my next bigger avenue is a podcast because I don't know. I think I'm more natural having a conversation with somebody than, just seeing little blurbs of me on Twitter and like on my website. It's like, how much can you really get to know about somebody just in a website, you know?
So on your podcast that's coming out in next week, is it going to be? Are you going to be showing yourself a little bit, talking to folks, or are you going to be like behind like an avatar on the first episode?
Oh man, my video totally fucked up for my first interview. So I got like a little bit of it. So I don't know, splice something together. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to put myself out there more. Because I like, I used to hide my face before my family knew what I was doing. But since I'm just so like open and just out there, I'm like, why not? Like, why not just like go for it? Like, go full steam ahead.
I mean, it's pretty much part of the brand that they can pretty much connect with you a little bit more when
Yeah,
they actually see you.
absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
But also, I understand why some people don't want to show themselves. It also is a safety issue as well. You know, some people out there want either want to expose you or be a creep or just do something silly or whatever. I
I
understand the other
mean,
aspect as well.
yeah, this industry can be very dangerous. I mean, not even just clients, you have other providers that want to cause harm for some reason. Why? I don't know, because causing harm to people does not make me money. So I do not understand that mentality, but it is very dangerous. So you know, I understand why people blur their face. I mean, because I did it. And, I feel safe now. So that's why I started showing my face because I was like, well, I don't ever plan on going back to corporate America. So I don't have a job to worry about. Do I care about what people in high school thought about me? No. I mean, did they even like me in high school? Probably not. So why would I care about what they think about me now? Like those are some of the things I was thinking when I was like, why are you still covering your face? Your family knows, your family accepts you. Who are you covering your face for? So I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna go put myself out there and just see what happens.
Yeah, I used to do that myself on social media. This kind of like the second full year I actually showed my face. I mean, I just want to be on social media just anomalous back in them days. I'm like, in order to make some money or get some things done, I'm gonna have to show myself.
Wait, why were you hiding your face?
I'm a private person to be honest about it. I just don't like people all in my business like that. People want to critique. People want to start stuff. I have some folks that keep shit up on my end. I'm like,
Well,
I said fuck it.
the critiquing, I totally understand because I mean, it's nerve-wracking when you put yourself out there for the world to judge. And, that's because this new podcast that I'm doing actually has been 2 years in the making. So I'm like, I did care a lot about like the critiques and like, oh, what is somebody going to think of me? And I'm like, why do I care? They don't pay my bills. There are going to be people out there that's going to love what I do and there's going to be people out there that hates what I do. I do what I do for the people that love what I do. Whether they like me or not, they might get something out of what I'm doing. Whether it's somebody that I'm interviewing, they might, want to tune in for that person. Um or they might just want to support me because, they want to support me. You gotta just not care. But that's why I started showing my face. I was like, I'm hiding because I'm nervous that somebody's gonna judge me. And I'm like, they fucking judge me anyway. Before I was even a sex worker, people were judging me and assuming that I was a sex worker. And I was like, well, I might as well get paid since everybody thinks I'm one. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I like my SW guests, man. Y'all like regular people. Y'all just pretty much performing a duty for certain folks.
Dude, we're
To
so regular. Like, we're so regular. Like, I cannot, like, stress that enough. We are just your everyday regular people. We are your neighbor. I don't have any children, but there are many sex workers who are mothers, wives. We have family just like everybody else. Like weird yoga instructors. I just recently became a yoga instructor. So I'm like, we're yoga instructors. We're teachers of, other varieties. Um, I have a friend who just got her master's in psychology. She wants to be a psychologist, for the underprivileged people. Like we're just we're normal people who just happen to perform a job that society hates, but a large part of society consumes. It's such a weird space to be in because people hate us so much, but then they consume us. They wanna be us. They start dressing like us. They start acting like us. I mean, you see it all the time. A lot of people are inspired by the sex workers that they hate, and they don't even realize it.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it sometimes. I'm like, you talking about it, but you doing the same thing. You doing y'all regular people are worse most of the time. They nasty. Like regular folks.
Let me tell you, I mean, I knew this girl that when I told her that I was a sex worker, and she's like, "Oh my god, I cannot believe you would do that for money." And I was like, "Bitch, you're doing it for free. What are you talking about? Like, you just got ran through 3 guys in less than 24 hours, and I didn't judge you. Like,
They
why are
do
we?"
it. Oh my god, that's funny.
I'm just saying, like
Like,
regular. I mean, and then there's a feminist movement out there, about sex positivity, and I'm all about that. I'm all about people doing what makes them happy. But how are you going to be like, oh, no slut shaming and all this stuff? We can be slutty and it's okay, and it totally is okay. But don't be like, oh, I can be slutty for free because I like this person. You're getting paid for it. That's exploitation. And I'm like, no, it is not, because it's paying my bills. How are you exploiting me when you're providing me a very comfortable lifestyle? We're two people agreeing to do this. We're not talking about the people who are being trafficked. That's a totally separate situation where somebody is being forced. I'm not being forced. Miss Slutty McSlut is not being forced. So why can't we both do what we want? You have sex for free. I do whatever I want to do, and I make my money, and then we both live in harmony and we don't judge each other. Like that's what I would like, is just to not judge each other because I get paid for what I do. But then these also are the same girls that are crying to me about, "Oh my god, he didn't call me back. Oh my god, he just used me. We were dating for like 6 months and I feel so used." And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you because I don't feel used.
I was about to segue into that. Oh my, you caught it right on the money. I was about to segue into that part. Since you're getting paid and they doing it for free, you pretty much you're mentally prepared doing what you're doing. And the
Oh
other people
yeah.
that's doing it for free or getting their light bill paid, they got their heart into it.
Well, I mean, if you're getting your light bill paid, you're probably a sex worker. Um, I'm talking about, these extreme feminists out there that are like, "Oh no, I make my own money. I can pay for a date and I'm having sex for free because, I want to." And I'm like, "That's great. That's good for you. You do what makes you happy. I'm not judging you. I'm over here like, girl, get it, girl. Get it. How was your night? Did he rock your world? Good for you. I'm so happy for them when they're smiling and giggling, and the guy is texting them and they're like, "Oh my god, that's the guy from the other night." And I'm like, "Oh my god, girl, do you think this is, a potential dating situation or just like a one-off?" I asked some questions. I'm happy for them. But you can't expect me to be happy for you and then you turn around and you're judging me like, "Oh my god, I do it because I'm in love." And I'm like, "I love
Oh my
money.
god.
We're the same. I love money. We're the same. They just don't realize it."
They'll figure it out.
Hmm.
So, what type of advice you give for the someone that might want to want to get into the game or not get in the game? What would you suggest on that
Get
for the young
mentally
SW?
get mentally prepared. You have
How
to
would
be
they do
mentally
that?
ready. How would they do it?
Hmm. I know it's going to be
Um,
different for everybody, but what's like the basic stuff?
yeah, so it's going to be different depending on your life situations. I say the most important thing that anybody can do is going into this, set boundaries for themselves and stick to it. Like, I told myself a long time ago that I would never compromise my safety for money. I don't care if a light bill needs to get paid and my lights are about to be turned off. I will not sacrifice my safety and freedom because I might potentially make money. I won't do it. And to the people that they feel like they don't have options, that's not a judgment, that's just me personally. But set a boundary for yourself. That's how you start. You have to decide what you're comfortable doing and do it how you want to do it. Don't let other people tell you that you have to do it this way to succeed, because there's just so many different avenues in this industry that why are we still, subscribing to the old mentality that, in order for you to be successful, you have to present yourself this way. Cuz I fell into that trap, like 100% fell into that trap. I thought that I needed, respectable length nails. I thought that, men would prefer my hair to be straight, so I used to wear wigs. I did all these things that I thought that men would want, and I did not enjoy myself. It's mentally taxing when you are being, a completely different version of who you are for long periods of time. Like, I mean, we're kind of like actresses in a way, but how long can you play this role before you just need a mental break? Like, so that's what you have to get mentally prepared for. Like, what are you comfortable doing? How do you want to do it? And carve your own path. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about what I'm doing because I'm minding my business. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. I don't know if they're minding their business. They should be minding their business, but even if they're not, don't mind their business. Mind your own business, do what works for you. If you are like, I used to hide the fact that I loved heavy metal, and it was like, I'm looking back on it and I'm like wondering how many opportunities did I miss because I was afraid that somebody would think I was weird because I was, this black woman listening to death metal. And in reality, clients that are attracted to me thinks it's so cool. We get together during dates and we listen to music together. They introduce me to new bands, I introduce them to new bands. I've had clients buy me tickets to shows that I like. And there's just like, there are people out there, no matter who you are, there is somebody out there that is going to like you and appreciate you. Sometimes volume isn't always better. Quality over quantity any day, because am I will never sit here and pretend and be like, "Oh my god, I'm booked and busy. I'm like seeing 3 clients a day." No, that's not me. It's not me. I have a very small group of very loyal clients, and they bankroll my lifestyle because they like me for me and we get along very well, and that's how you build longevity in the business.
Shout out to the gentleman out there supporting the lifestyle. Y'all the real MVPs out here. She look relaxed and not
I
stressed.
I'm so not stressed. I'm so unbothered.
You really are. You got your little background back there. What does that say? What does that say back there?
Oh, that's the I made the sign. I got it custom made for my podcast. Hoe Ventures is my new podcast. So so my condo, I decided to not rent it out because I didn't feel like dealing with renters. So I turned my condo into basically my content studio. I have my own content studio now. So I turned my closet into my my sound room, my audio room. So it's all, not completely soundproof, but got all my I had to set it up because I didn't want to just look at blank foam panels. It would make me feel like I was in an insane asylum, and I was like, I can't live like this. So I just decorated it and made it quite lovely, and it's a nice cozy little setup. I got my desk, and it's like I get here and it's business when I walk in. It is business. So
That's a big old closet that you used to have.
no, it's really not big, I swear. It's really not big. It's just like a normal walk-in closet, but without racks and clothing, you can squeeze some things in here. But I'm really creative. And I have visions. I can look at something and envision something, and then I turn it into my reality. And that's what I did with this. I've been working on like nonstop for about 2 months because um I mean, this was a large undertaking, like renovating. I've had, construction people in and out, doing other construction on the condo. So it's been a very exhausting 2 months. But my clients have been very supportive during my journeys. God bless
Oh
them.
man. Oh yeah,
I'm
God
like,
bless.
I mean, because there are days where I was like, they're like, oh, are you available to get together this week? And I'm like, okay, I'm still, I'm at the condo working, and they're just really sweet about working around my schedule. And, a lot of it's like, what's best for you? Like, what works for you? And I will work around your schedule. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Because they
Oh
want to see they
Lord.
want to see me succeed. They're excited about my new show as well, so they want to see me succeed. And that's the best when you have a bunch of people around you that wish the best for you, and they're like rooting for you, and they want you to succeed. And they're my biggest supporters, and I couldn't be happier.
Oh wow, they're the greatest. Okay, I see you got the
Yeah.
mic and the pop filter over there. You got you got a stand too.
Yeah, I did. Well, yeah, I did. I customized it myself because I didn't like the black. So I painted it gold because I wanted a very specific theme. Nice cohesive environment. And I just feel like glamorous in here. I feel luxurious and glamorous in my closet.
Oh Lord, you crazy. Yeah, we're getting close to the end right now. So, how's it feel to be in the Hustler magazine?
Man, it is incredible. So since I was younger, I've always wanted to be in a magazine. And a friend of mine, shout out to Grace Eve, tagged me in a post that the writer Missy Martinez, she's a writer for Hustler. She was looking for ladies who love cars and sports cars, and my friend tagged me. It was like, oh my gosh, Chantal, this is like perfect for you. So I sent her DM, and then we got the interview started. And I mean, it's a long process to get into a magazine. We have been doing this. It started what, like in October, like the beginning of October is when the whole thing started. Getting the interview. Then I did a photo shoot because I wanted, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in a magazine. I need like the best photos I can get. So that's how that happened. And it's just like, it's so crazy to like see myself. Now, what I did not know that I was going to have like the spread to the article, because there's four of us total, and I did not know that. They didn't tell me anything. I sent them the photos. They sent me a model release, so I knew which photos were going to be in there. And all the photos that did not make the magazine, those are the ones that I've been flooding Twitter with, because I was like, what else am I going to do with them, right? So I've been posting those at my social media. So those are the ones that did not make the magazine. So I was shocked because I didn't know. They didn't send it to me beforehand. I received the magazine in the mail literally the day before it hit the stands, and which I think it was February 15th it hit the stands. And I went to find the page, and I was like, holy shit, I'm like right there in the center, 2-page spread there. That was really cool. So I'm very excited about that. And so my mom has a copy that she's not allowed to open. I told her she can't open it because my mom doesn't like porn. I was like, oh my God, mom, you're going to die. Do not open that magazine. So I have a little sticky note.
Yeah, Hustler magazine is a little bit more graphic than the other magazine. If I was your mom, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I put a little sticky note to my page so if she ever wants to go to it, she can without having to search for it.
I hope you got that sticky note on real nice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's like, "Don't worry. I'm probably not going to open it." She has like hidden and stuff to make sure like, my nieces and nephews don't accidentally come across it when they're visiting.
Oh yeah, I gotta go online and order me a couple of those. I'm gonna have to send them to you so you can
Yes,
autograph it.
order them. You can also a friend of mine, Layla Love, shout out to her because she went on a mission to find them. She found them at a porn store. A client of mine, he got 5 copies. He went searching for it as well, and he got 5 copies for me to pass out to my family because he was like, I didn't want you to have to go searching, so he went and searched for me. Thank you so
Layla
much.
Love, Layla Love. Is she in Georgia? Or is she in Florida? That name is familiar.
She's in both. She's in Tallahassee. She travels a lot. She travels a lot, but I know she has a place in Savannah, Georgia, which she's probably there now or going to be there in like a couple days.
She in the
Layla's
country. Shout out to you, Layla.
Yeah, Layla's a close friend of mine. Love her to death. She's a very close friend of mine and a major supporter of like everything I do. So, love her.
Wow, since we're talking about cars right now, we are a car channel. So what was your first car that you bought for yourself back in the old days?
Oh my god. So, since I was a kid, I'm obsessed with convertibles, and I think it was because, I had a Barbie Corvette. I don't know how my mom afforded to get that for us because we were poor, but somehow she made it happen. So I had a pink Barbie Corvette when I was about 7 or 8, and, my aunt actually drove a Corvette, and I was like, "Oh my god, like, that car is so cool. I want one of those when I turn 16." That didn't happen. I had a Sebring convertible, in high school, and it was old, and it was raggedy,
Oh, see, Brandon, old school.
and
Ooh, tell me your age.
it had oh, well, I'm in my 30s, so,
Oh, you young.
um
Okay.
Um, and but my Sebring was old, so it's not like I had a new one. It was old and it was raggedy as fuck, man. Like, oh, all the issues that I had, but it got me to school. But yeah, I loved dropping the top in that baby. It was like missing hubcaps and everything. Oh man, how far I've come. But yeah, that was my first car. After that, my I got a Honda for graduation, which was crazy because I was very appreciative of getting that car, but it was not me. And so that car lasted me through college. Those are good running cars, but I was like, dude, this is not me. Like this is just not me. So I my college graduation present I bought myself, and as my like getting my first big girl accounting job, I bought myself a Pontiac Solstice. And that was my baby. That was my rider until I just got my Mercedes. Actually,
Oh yeah,
I still have my Solstice. I'm not gonna
that's a
lie. I still
collector's
have
item.
her. I still have her. So
Is she
I
still
don't I
running?
don't
Is she
drive her.
running okay?
Oh yeah, my mom gets in and drives her around for me.
Oh, your mama dropping the top bag. Is your color? Is it solstice black or red? What color is the car?
Oh, it's red. It's red.
How did I know that? That's funny.
Yeah, it's red. Like, so the color of the like I have like specific colors that I would want my cars in. And so the solstice, for some reason, it was like I had to have it in red. I didn't like any of the other colors for some reason. The red was just like something about it, and red was like amazing. My card now is black. Her name is M Shadows. Um, Shout out to Avenged Sevenfold. I love that group. But her, yeah, so her name is M
Okay.
Shadows, and because she's black, and I would have done that car in black or maybe silver. So now I'm trying to decide what my next car is going to be. So every time I get, like, I have a list of cars, and every time I get that car, then I immediately start working on trying to get the next car. Not that I'm not appreciative of driving the car that I'm driving now, because I love my car, but I always strive to, I have to have goals to keep working, or else I get really bored in life. That's why I keep creating new projects.
Oh yeah, keep doing your thing. I'm the same way myself. I pretty much have cars on my bucket list. Went through quite a few of them. I'm always looking at something else. I'm like, I shouldn't be buying nothing else, but like something on my bucket list always pops up.
What's on your bucket list?
I'm into older cars to be honest about it. Right
Let's
now,
let's talk about them. I actually know about older cars. A
my
lot of
bucket
people don't
list
know
is
that.
like my bucket list is like 3 pages long, and so far I went through like one page.
Oh my god. So what's next on your list? What are you looking to get next?
I had this car before for like a few seconds, but I'm looking at I think it's like a '78 BMW 633, like the two-door coupe.
Okay.
They call it the Shark. I had one before, but a guy up the street, he got like two of those for sale. Of
Mhm.
course, I can't buy two, but I'm trying to peel one of them off of him. But I'm trying to give him the budge off of one.
How many cars do you have right now?
Let's see. I have like maybe 6 old cars right now and two regular cars.
Okay, so I'm just letting you know I'm coming to Atlanta, and I want to see your cars in person. And
All
I
of them in
might.
Texas actually, except the
Oh, they're in
BMW.
Texas. Okay. Well, I can
The
fly to Texas to see
the
cars. As long as
the
you take
only
me for a ride in them.
we're gonna have to put some. We'll figure that out. Yeah, the only car is up here the Mercedes. I have a wagon, like an '80 wagon, and
Mhm.
I have a '74 BMW 2002, the little short BMW.
Okay. I
Yeah,
know a
pull it
lot
up
about
online. You'll
the
see it.
I know a lot about the older muscle cars because I have an older brother and my uncles. They were into collecting older muscle cars. So actually in high school my brother drove a 67 Buick Skylark, and it was fast. Like, I hated it though, because I used to go to school smelling like fucking gas, man. But I mean, now that I'm older, I'm like, man, I we actually talked about that car a couple days ago. I was like, what happened? Because I don't remember like what happened. He ended up selling it or something. But I was like, man, like I wish you still had that car, because now that I'm older and have a better appreciation for cars, like that was a badass car. Like it was a really nice car, and it was fast as fuck.
Yeah, my mom, she have a Skylark of '76. It's like burnt orange.
Oh, my brother's was black, like black, and he had gutted out black interior. Oh man, it was so nice.
So speaking of old cars, what's your favorite old car since you brought it up?
Ooh, I love like the classic Corvettes. I love. But I actually really I have this thing for the 50s. Um like this, as far as like the style, not the cultural experience for us black people, but the style, the
Yeah, it was
fashion, the
rough back in them
cars.
days.
It was rough, but the cars and the fashion. So I would say I love the classic Rolls Royce.
Oh my! You know what? Actually, I have one on my page. That's on my bucket list. Actually,
They are beautiful. Like, I thought one day I wanted to get married, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have to have that, like, for my wedding." But now I would like to just have one, period, because those are beautiful, gorgeous cars. And, and as much as I love technology and innovation, like I love innovation and I love what society has been able to do. Like, I mean, you went from nothing and rubbing sticks together to make fire, and now we're having an interview over the internet, right? So
Mm.
I love innovation, but man, they just don't make cars like they used to. I mean, like,
And you, man,
right now, like if somebody even looked at my car wrong, there's going to be a massive dent.
oh Lord.
Those old school cars, man, they could take a beating.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna segue into two cars real quick. On some of my old cars, it's a joy that it doesn't matter if you got them fixed up all the way. Something always breaks on the old car. That's what you have to expect when you're driving in an old car. You can buy
Yeah.
everything brand new.
Hmm.
One day something's not going to work. I'm like, I just fixed that.
I know that's the one. Uh,
Quirky thing about it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not fun. And I don't work on cars. Like I always like wanted to be one of those girls that can work on a car. I know enough about like, checking oil and changing a tire and stuff like that. Like I know like the basics, but like I can't get under the hood and like rebuild the engine, but like I aspire to be able to do that one day. Like to rebuild an old school engine because it's like a puzzle and I love puzzles. So I kind of want to like just learn how to do it just because it's like a puzzle and something to do, I guess. I don't know. Maybe in my retiring years I'll do that.
Hey, you never know. Actually, I have a few of my guests that was on the show like a while back. One of them was a diesel mechanic. I think his name is Letty.
Mhm.
She's a diesel mechanic in Texas and everything. And she could fix on everything. Man, she'll fix
See,
on the ring, all kind of
there are
stuff.
women out there and I love them. Like I had to call AAA a couple months ago because I needed to put air in my tire and I was like I just don't have time to deal with this myself. Cuz I was actually doing yoga, so I was like, "Oh, they'll come out and do it while I'm busy, right?" And the woman that came out or the person that came out was a woman. And I was just like, "Oh my God, can I just tell you how much I love this for us women that you're out here helping me? Like, I love this. I love women in these male dominated industries. Like, keep doing your things, ladies."
Oh yeah, I like when y'all doing y'all thing out there. I got to give it to you. Don't have to ask for nothing. You gotta. I mean, obvious some of the stuff is like too heavy for you guys to live, but if you're putting in the effort actually fixing the stuff, well, I'll help you out. As long as you're not. I guess like being in the way. I guess.
I'm actually really creative and because I do a lot of my own like home construction and stuff. And whenever I have something that's really heavy to lift, I will always find a way to lift it.
Yeah, you're right
Always,
about
every
that.
time. I don't know how I managed to do I'm only 5 feet tall. So a lot of times it's
Oh,
not
you
even like,
short,
"Oh, yeah, I'm a little tiny something."
short,
That's probably
short
why
little
I'm so
stack.
feisty. That's why I'm so feisty.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, like, there sometimes it's not even the weight, it's like a height challenge of like, I have to lift it, and once you start getting over your head, it like the heaviness becomes dangerous. So I have to get really creative with figuring out how to lift things, and I mean, I've installed like closet systems all on my own. I love doing that. I love organizing. I do lots of things around the house by myself because, like, why pay a man to do it when I can do it myself? The one thing I don't like is painting. I will always hire a man to paint. I fucking hate painting.
Yeah, that's a skill you gotta have on paint stuff like that. If you throw it on too
Fucking hate
thick,
it.
it's just gonna be looking crazy.
It's a lot of upper body strength that I just don't have, man. Like, and because I'm short, I got to get like the extra long pole. And so then, like, having to apply the pressure high up, it's just too much. I'm like, ugh, no, it's too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta go back to the car thing for 1 second before we ride
Hmm.
out. Yeah, speaking of technology, one of my daily cars is my Honda Accord. It's like a new body style, whatever. When I first bought it, I was trying to avoid that car for the longest. I always went with the body style before that. It didn't
Hmm.
have all that extra technology on there, but when I first got in this car, It's semi-automated. When I drove it for the first time, I guess I didn't realize everything was turned on. Somebody jumped in front of me on 85. The car just went like, just like stopped. I'm like, I didn't press the get brake.
I
Like, who the hell
mean,
stopped the car?
right? Who would have thought like 50 some odd years ago that we would be having cars that, can sense out danger and then stop us before, we get into an accident. I think it's amazing. Cumbersome, but amazing.
It finally learned itself. It don't jerk anymore. It pretty much down there drive itself,
I mean,
which is
my
crazy.
car does not, unfortunately, and I would like it to, but it doesn't.
I mean, versus whenever I jump into one of these older cars, I'm like, okay, you gotta press the brake a certain way to stop. You gotta time the brake when you're driving in an old car. It ain't gonna
Oh
help you out.
yeah. No. No. Oh my
You
god,
can't
no.
drive. you
Whew,
can't drive too.
man.
You can't drive too fast in bad weather. You're gonna spin around, or it's not gonna be pleasant.
I
In a newer
drove the
car, you can
Skylark once and whoo boy. My brother was like, never again, never again.
never. No, you can drive like the newer stuff. You can drive like 75, 80 miles per hour in the rain, and it don't do nothing,
No, oh my
which is
god,
crazy.
my car right now, it handles very well. It handles corners and everything, like, cuz let me tell you, a girl likes to be on two wheels, turning some corners sometimes. I'm just saying. I
Don't
have a
be racing
thrill.
out there.
I'm not racing. I just race myself. I I don't know. I just love a thrill and driving fast, getting behind the wheel and putting her in sports plus mode. It's exhilarating, especially at the top down. It's like feels like you're flying. It's amazing.
Oh, you guys got that beautiful weather in Orlando. Oh, my goodness, I got to experience it one of these days. Let all the
Come
windows
for a
down.
visit.
Hey, you never know. I think Orlando is like what, a few hours away or something like that
From where?
from Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta.
You mean like flight wise?
Driving wise, I don't fly too often. I actually drive. Yeah, I just drove to Virginia and back like 3 weeks ago.
I think I haven't driven to Atlanta in a really long time because, like, why? Like that drive sucks.
I know.
From Tampa it's 6 hours. From Orlando, I don't even know because I refuse. I don't even want to look. Like just looking at that long drive would it makes me nervous.
Yeah, someone else told me about driving from that area is kind of interesting. You gotta pray when you drive down there.
God, it's just so exhausting. Like, I just don't enjoy it. I don't like to drive far distances. Plus, like, I'm small and I have to stop a lot because I drink a lot of water. So I have to pee all the time.
You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right. So we pretty much get, yeah. Once we get off we getting pretty much close to the end. Once we get done talking, stay on the line so we'll chop it up for a few seconds. But what's
Sure.
your final thoughts at this time?
A, a specific thought or just any
Whatever you want
thought?
to say to the people out there that see they like you or whatever, your
Um, I
fans or
just
whatever.
I just want to thank all of the people that have supported me through my journey as Chantel, and I just want everybody to just flourish and thrive in this business. And I'm always here if you have any questions or need help with anything. I love helping people. So reach out if you need anything. And as always, keep it sexy.
Well, there you have it, folks. Our special guest Chantel. My goodness, she's everything to everybody on Hey You Should Is Our Voice Live, Season 2, Episode number 15 with Mr. Old Skool Ryder. And tell everybody your social medias and everything you got going on before we go.
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter at Chantel_Etoile. That's Etoile. And my Instagram handle is the same. And hopefully soon I'll have some videos to post on TikTok, but I'm just so busy right now. But definitely follow me on Twitter. From there, you can find all of my other links.
Yeah, you can also find me on Instagram and YouTube at Mr. Old Skool Ryder, just the way it's spelled. Also, my Twitter is old_Ryder. I pretty much my Twitter's kind of a little bit all over the place. Of course, I'm not doing nothing on there, but some people are. But just letting
Yeah.
y'all know, don't expect me to do anything. But they're my people on there. I gotta support.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
But other than that, we're over an hour. This should be uploaded here in a little bit. And we thank Miss Chantel for coming on the show today. And we're over and we out. And stay right there,
Thank
Chantel.
you.
Stay
Bye.
right there. Oh, don't leave, but stay right there.
I know.